You would think that after 5.5 years of doing this, I would have this intro down. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Nola Time. My name is Obed Velez, and with me is the most interesting man in the world, Joel Young.
Y- You doxed yourself, man. I was gonna call you out after the stream. What's
Bro,
going on? But
it's
you,
like
you,
it's
you
every.
took responsibility for it.
I guess like the one once a week stream's not working for me. I gotta probably do it more often, just so I can get used to muting the proper channels on the
It's not
audio.
enough time. You got it. Yeah, we got
Dude,
more shows is what we're
right,
telling you
right,
guys.
exactly.
No load
No,
time needs to be regular.
yeah, it needs to be a nightly thing.
Dude,
Hey,
I
you know
would
what?
love it.
No,
I would
don't let
love
your
it.
dreams be dreams,
Let
right?
your dreams be
We
dreams.
could be the next kind of fun and be actually funny.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh. I
man.
mean, we've gone places before, Obed. To the place you nearly blacked out on the show from some of the stuff we've talked about. We have a great time on this show.
Yeah, man. Oh, dude, how you
Yeah.
doing, man?
Oh, I am doing just fabulous, man. It's been busy times for me personally, but I have had some time to go out and have some fun a little bit. So you go may have noticed if you are subscribed to our podcast, you may have noticed it just put out just before we went live here, my review for The Creator. So I did get a chance to see the movie. Was super excited about it, considering that I had already seen some footage and some interviews at Comic Con. That was one of the few films that was brought to Comic Con with director Gareth Edwards, considering it's the guy who did Rogue One, gets my attention, and also it's in the one of my favorite genres, sci-fi. So it was cool to go ahead and check it out. Loved that it was visually up to par with any major franchise film, and just really just creative all around. Movie does struggle with its story. I think its issue is that it's actually trying to be too deep,
Mm,
personally,
okay,
and that actually
I
works
see that.
against it. But all in all, I still think people will
That's
enjoy the film.
that's kind of what I got from the
Yeah,
trailers. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Everything else is really fine, but I think that's the thing that works against it. And I can see where some people might be checking their clock a little bit throughout the film because it tries to keep hitting those same messages so far. It actually hinders the story from progressing. That's just a personal opinion, but look, enjoyed it nonetheless. Make sure you check out the review on the podcast where I break it down a little bit more, about 5 minutes long, nothing too bad. But yeah, I mean, I would recommend people do check it out because we do need to see more films that are not franchises existing. Like we need to see films like this, and we need to support it. We need
mm-hmm.
to support
I
movies
agree.
that are doing something different, and that studios like Disney gave it a boatload of money and let it just do its thing, and didn't meddle in it and let them make something original. I'm excited about that and happy to see that happens. So I'm for that reason I'm good.
Good, good. Okay, cool. Yeah, and a couple things for me. I got 2 episodes left on Castlevania Nocturne. It's very good.
Yeah,
Joel's very, very good.
yeah.
Yeah. Highly recommend going back and watching the first show and then watching this one. It's good. So not much there to say there. A quick update. Me and my daughter, my daughter finally finished Dragon Ball Super, so we're done. Like we finished Z and Super in less than a year. We did it. We did it. And we watched the Broly movie over the weekend.
Okay.
That was good. So we're probably gonna watch Superhero again soon. But we took a couple days off. I had her like process it, and she was like, "Oh, so let's watch My Hero Academia." So we started My Hero Academia tonight. So
You like it?
we watched. Yeah, I mean, I've watched the first 3 seasons.
Oh, okay,
I
okay.
need to catch up, but so I'm gonna catch up with her. So it was her first time watching the first 2 episodes. So now she's like questions. It's like, oh, so what did this happen? What did this happen? I was like, oh, I don't know. I'm not gonna spoil anything for you, kid. You just watch it.
Yep.
So that should be pretty entertaining. This should be a good experience there, for the both of us. But I got a story, Joe.
Oh, I love story time with
I can no longer disparage Spectrum.
They
I
hooked
went
you
ahead
up.
and canceled them, dude. I got tired of it.
Oh, they're gone.
They're gone. I got tired of it. So I went to AT and T and I told them, "Yo, I want you back in my life.
Come
I
back.
want that fiber back in my life. I want to hug you." So I went back. Yeah, I went back to AT and T and got fiber again. I got it connected yesterday. So
Oh wow.
there was a possibility that the show was not going to happen because
Yeah.
they sent the equipment. Uh, I got the equipment Tuesday. I plug everything in. It's not connecting. After that, the tech, I call. It's like, yo, this thing not working. They make me unplug everything again, plug it back in. It's like, bro, I did it twice already.
Classic.
You
I
gotta do.
know.
I'm in
On
IT.
the phone,
Trust
like
me.
you
You
have.
can't.
Yep.
No. Oh no, we gotta actually like watch you do it. So
It's
now
so
they said,
annoying.
dude. Now they send you a text with a link, with a remote, so they can see your camera and
Yep.
they can actually watch you do the whole thing, dude. It's
Like you're
so
lying.
annoying, man. So annoying. Anywho, nothing happened there. So tech comes in yesterday. I had to work from home yesterday. I was like, I can't because
Yeah.
tech's gonna be there like at noon. It's like, no, bro. It's like my wife. She's gotta go pick up my kid. There's not gonna be anyone at home like for two
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I gotta do what I gotta do. I had no internet. I gotta fix it. Right.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, for sure.
So
Important.
so I had to wait. The tech showed up. Like they gave me a window. They showed up like kind of like in the middle, which wasn't that bad. But they found out that outside they had unplugged the module because I was not connected. So Mother Tech took the module out and used it for something else. I was like, of course they did. Come on. So, but I'm connected. I'm good, and I'm good to go, Joel. So I'm hoping that we have no other problems because for all that whole time that I had fiber before, we had no issues with the stream.
Well, look
And
at us
and
now. So far, so
so
good.
far so good. And after I switched to Spectrum, dude, it was like the stream would go down or you know like we get buffered or it was not good. So I hate going through this. Also, I'm gonna I don't okay. I'm gonna be petty on this one, dude. I'm gonna be petty on this one. So this dude in Spectrum, I called to cancel. Right, I told my wife go call and cancel. This guy talks to my wife for like 20 minutes, and my wife was like, "No, we want to cancel." So passes me the phone because the dude wants to talk to me, and dude is like, and I dude gives me the phone for like 40 minutes, bro.
No. Just
And I
to
was like,
cancel?
bro, cancel it. Oh, but it doesn't make sense. It's like, you're not paid to make sense. I actually got mad, dude. It's like, you're not there to make sense of my
Your
choices.
job is not to do that.
Your job is not to make sense of my choices. Cancel my service, right? Bro, 40 minutes. My wife got tired because I gave her the phone back. Because I was like, you take it because I'm going to get Puerto Rican on his ass. And I was done, bro. I was done. I was done. And I gave her the phone. It's like, yo, you take the phone. You please tell him. It's like, oh, he needs to talk to you again. And I'm from over here shouting, cancel it. Because I don't want to talk to the guy anymore. I was like, I don't want to talk to you anymore. So my wife he keeps my wife for another like 20 minutes. And my wife ends up hanging up.
Yeah.
I was like, I called back. It was like, he dude's not gonna cancel it. I bet. I actually went outside, got some air, came back in, and called. It's like, yo, this guy, I called to cancel. He didn't want to cancel. So I just want to verify that he canceled it because I approved it. I was like, oh no, it says here that you hung up he did the change. It's like, well, it's like I want to. It's like, you know what? I'm not. I'm not here to. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna be brutally honest with you. The guy kept me on the phone for over an hour, and I told him 3 times straight up. I'm not playing any games. Cancel the service. And the guy kept me on the phone for too long. He disrespected my time, and you cancel it right now, and I'm not gonna talk to you anymore. It's like, okay. Well, it's like there's this thing. It's like, no, do it. Okay, I'm gonna put you on hold. Put me on hold. Canceled it. But bro, I don't even Spectrum. I understand, right? I understand. Cable's dying. I understand, right? Cable's dying. So you don't have to make it so hard, bro. It's like, honestly, it's like it shouldn't be this hard. And I remember back in the day, the stories from America Online when you were trying to cancel their service, and they were like, "Oh, but this thing," and they would give you free hours and all this stuff, right? So it was like almost like the same experience, right? And it was insane, dude. And I was like, it got to the point. It's like, you're not there to make sense of my choices, and I'm telling this dude, bro, do it.
This is yeah.
It's like I was like, I was very like, my friend, I am not my brother in Christ. Like to me, my brother in Christ, I am not. You're not there to make choices for me, bro.
I'm not the one. Don't
You're
do
not.
it today.
You gotta do this, bro. This because I'm telling you to do this, and it was.
That's the trick. I mean, that's the trick, right?
Yeah,
Like they have to keep you until you say no. It's the long game. Then they keep your money on. You're frustrated, but you can't cancel because you're hostage to them. It's horrible.
Yeah.
But I mean, like my trick, dude. I just hang up until I get to the right person, or I say transfer me to someone else.
Yeah.
Like, because it's like I'm not gonna talk to somebody who doesn't have the understanding to do what I'm asking. Just keep. It's horrible. Though. It's horrible. I've had my own experiences with. I'm not gonna name names, but
I'm dropping Spectrum. I don't care,
dude. I had a company where I was literally on a call all day, like literally all day, just asking to fix my phone number. An issue with my phone, like a whole thing, and this person, help me, that person helped me. I got transferred around so many times to the point I got in my car, drove to an actual place, and they were like, "Look, we don't even do this here." I said, "I don't care. Your company name is on your shirt. You're gonna help me with this somehow."
Bro,
and they did it because it's really rough when you get to that point.
I told them, it's like, you got two choices right now. You either cancel on the phone right this moment, or I will take my car and drive to the office and drop off your equipment. Those are the two choices, dude. There's no other choices here. You can't have a third choice, right? You're not making choices for me.
Nope.
So
I'm gonna do this.
I was like, I told him straight up. I was like, dude, it's like, I'm trying to keep my cool here, dude. But it doesn't
you're
make any
a pretty level-headed guy.
You know me,
dude.
A
very nice man. You know, we don't just go around screaming at people. We don't. I
felt bad because I'm not that type of person. But it's like, bro, honestly, it was insane, and I am so happy now, dude. Like that I have my fiber back.
Freedom.
So, and
internet is a utility at this point.
It is, yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
I mean, like you have your power, you have your water, and you have to have your internet. Like it's a must-have.
What was insane to me, right? It's like I'm trying to explain to him. It's like, well, he's like, oh, but when you changed services back then, it was for a reason. It's like, yeah, because you guys are too pushy, and you were coming here every day and calling me. And my wife said yes. I didn't want to say yes. I was happy with my fiber. And you took my fiber away. Now I have it back. Now you can have your boxes back. So, I mean, I'm good. Like it seems to be working good. I'm watching the stream on YouTube right now. It looks good. So
you have Uverse for television?
DirecTV stream.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know they have that partnership, through them, through DirecTV.
Yeah, we got the stream, so we got a pretty decent deal with, like the fiber doesn't go up because we have phone service with them, so it's a fixed price, but the TV, man, I think it was like $45. For like the basic package, because like as long as my wife has her HGTV and Food Channel, my daughter has Disney Junior.
I like HGTV.
That's all you need, bro. Because I don't watch TV, so
yeah,
you know that's what it is. So Yeah, man. I did watch Ahsoka though.
Let's do it.
All right. So we finally get a consistently good Star Wars show. I think well, Andor was excellent, right? But it was a slow
Yeah.
burn,
Yeah.
right? I think Mando season 2
Mm-hmm.
is probably the best like Star Wars show season that we've gotten.
Yeah.
And I love it. I think Andor is totally different. It's like Andor is Star Wars, but it just feels so different. And not that it doesn't, it feels disconnected, but it just feels it's a totally different approach,
Yeah.
and I love it, and I think it's excellent. But this was like through and through very, it was Star Wars, dude. It was very prequely, and I loved it. I loved it. It was great. And it was consistent. Like every episode was good. Like we didn't have, there was no bad episodes, or I want to say mid episodes. If there's any mid episodes, was the what, episode 5 probably, because it was the one that, yeah, we found Ezra, but it was kind of like flat, kind of all around. But yeah, it was good. I think the ending was great. Spoilers. We're going into spoilers now. The Abel. I think, dude. What I tell you about Balin?
You know,
Who, bro? Who can take? Because he was excellent, man. Only person I can.
I feel so bad.
Yeah. Only person I can think of is Carl Urban.
I heard people saying Gerald Butler. I heard a few people saying.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know, I
yeah,
could see it.
yeah, yeah. Okay, that would
Is
no.
is
You know
is,
what?
is
That is not a
Disney
bad
Star Wars
choice,
going to fork up the money? Is he going to be willing to
dude.
join? I
Gerard
don't
Butler
know,
does
but I'd
like
like to see
cheap.
it.
He does cheap movies now. He
He
don't care.
does, and I still watch him.
Yeah, he don't care, man. He'll do it.
No, man.
Yeah, I think I. You know what? I think he'll do it. So, I think that's not a bad choice. Yeah, Carl
Yeah,
Urban's probably too busy, but he would probably be also a great
yeah.
choice. No, I think Gerald Butler would be a good choice. All right, so yeah, I mean that's very unfortunate, but it looks like the either Abeloth or the son, like he's after one of them, right? And it's clear that that's the path that he's chosen, and what he's been looking for, and that answers the question, setting up for something much bigger, right? That could be a season 2, or it could be the movie. I think that there should be, if you ask me, there should be a season 2, and then the movie, because I think there's too many loose ends that need to kind of like wrap up, or they can probably tie those ends on Mando, like
Mm-hmm. Yep.
that's another option there. So yeah, overall I really enjoyed it, right? And I think that flipping the script was a clever idea of like, yeah, now Ezra's not lost, now Ezra's back home with Hera, and now Sabine and Ahsoka are the ones that are stranded. So I think that was a good good switch there. uh, Shin Hati going back to the bandits, that was unexpected. I didn't really know what path she was gonna take, right? Um, we know that she's still kind of like reluctant on what her purpose is, so I guess we'll see more of that later. And yeah, throwing us back in the galaxy, prepping for something big over in Dathomir, and it looks like it was basically an army that they're prepping. An army of what? Night Sisters? I don't know. Zombos? Yeah, we got the Zombos, the Stormtroopers, and Death Troopers. So that was cool. So that's basically was confirmation, or sort of a confirmation of what the Night Troopers were. I don't think that all of them were necessarily zombies, um, but a good chunk of them, if not a select group of those Night Troopers were. But overall, man, I really enjoyed it. I think Dave did a great job, and I think Star Wars nerds are happy. It This is not a show for the casuals, and you know that it's unfortunate because it's very good. Like if you're a casual
Yeah.
watching this show, you're gonna be very lost about everything that's
Yeah.
happening, right?
Yeah.
But it's shreddy, and it was good. It was good overall, very good, man. I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait for more. So yeah,
Well said. Everything you said, I really, really appreciate and understand. And I think for me, what was so ironic was last week you go back to the episode and towards the end of our segment of when we talk, which Obed clipped it, we're talking about last episode 7, and I kind of predicted what I thought was going to happen. And generally speaking, they did exactly what I wanted. I said, I would love this. I'd love to see maybe that they kind of sneak in right to Thrawn's you know army, right? Well, not exactly happened that way, but you still got Ezra putting on the gear and pretending to be one of the
yeah,
troopers,
yeah,
right? So yeah, a little bit of that happened, right? I said I wanted them to lose. Well, we got that, right? They did lose, and that's definitive. It's definitive. It's not a question mark. It's not did they come. That war is done. He made it there. They lost. That was the whole goal of it, right? He was able to distract them and get to back to the galaxy. And then like I wanted it to be something new that was going on with Balin. And I still think that there's a very good chance. I think that you're still going upon something that we've seen before, right? Like we know the Mortis gods. We're familiar with that real sweaty stuff getting in Clone Wars. But I still think there's a chance that what is going to be taught to us is going to be something, a new layer to the Force that we haven't understood before. Like you're taking, it's all about Filoni. He takes on the foundation, you know, not throwing away what was and what was before, very respectful of these things, but just builds upon it in a fresh way and brings new life into it
yep,
without having to trash what was. Um, and I think that's what Star Wars needs, right? You mentioned, it was very prequel esque, right? Like I love that it was very prequel esque, and it was you have your Anakin Skywalker stuff, and very consistently referenced, between Thrawn, like we will not negotiate with the apprentice of Anakin Skywalker. That is not up for grabs. He's making that very clear.
yeah,
As Ahsoka and Sabine and Ezra are mounted onto these creatures, chasing back, and he's like, just shoot them down best you can, anything to distract them from getting to that point. Just so well done on a thematic, a dramatic standpoint, and again, not just okay, great, all this action, and then the last 10 minutes, Thrawn is dead, and then you move on. Like they're taking a very strong character, a character Star Wars needs, hasn't had a strong villain since Darth Vader,
yeah.
that you're now bringing in. That I believe, like Thrawn is no Kylo Ren. He will not turn to the light. this is this is a bad dude, and Star Wars
Yeah.
needed that, and I think it's super exciting.
See, and then it goes back to how did this affect? I mean, what's going to get retconned from the sequels, because there's no mention of this. Like this is to me, honestly speaking, right? I mean, we could probably see the rise of the First Order. It's too early, in my opinion.
Yeah,
This is what, 5 years after
right. You need 20 more
Return. You
years.
need, yeah, like 25 more years. Ray's not even born yet.
No.
It's like it's one of those things, right? So that what's not clear in the sequel trilogy is how long has the First Order been a problem? Like it's like, oh, the First Order is here. How long have they been dealing with this? We don't know. It's kind of like the Empire in back in A New Hope. It's like, oh, I mean, how long has the Empire been? It's like, well, it's not specified until the prequels, and it said, that when it's established that it's 19 years that the Empire has been ruling the galaxy. So they really don't specify how long have they been dealing with this threat. Um, I don't know because I mean, based on the information that's out there from the sequel, the sequels is that the New Republic doesn't even have a defense council anymore because they don't have any weapons. They don't have like they went crazy. They declared like super peace. And and there's like let's not have any weapons, right? And that's why the resistance have to who do this underground thing to go against the First Order. So like I don't know, right? So something they gotta give us more info, and I hope that that they're probably gonna end up retconning a bunch of stuff because I think that's what's happening. What's happening right now is probably even more crucial than the rise of the First Order, with like
Yeah.
someone as important
Yeah.
as Thrawn coming back to the galaxy and doing whatever he's gonna do. Um, but it's just that now things don't make sense, and that's a Star Wars is back. I think right in a good way because I think the show was very good, well written, characters were done well, casting was top notch. But then you go back to where how do you fit it in the continuity? And now it's like because you could fit Mando just fine,
Mhm.
right? Because
Yeah.
it's more a small, more contained. Like this is a big deal event,
Yes.
and how do you make this fit within the continuity? And I think that's I guess the challenge that Dave is gonna have. Kathleen Kennedy has 24 days left on on Lucasfilm. That's my prediction, man. End of October, dude. We're gonna find out.
Wow.
I'm still standing by it. I'm not betting anything, but I'm not a betting man. I mean, if I were a betting man, I would put my money on that. But since I only
Wow.
bet in
In food,
yeah,
pineapple and shrimp.
exactly. I was gonna say edibles, but that would play wrong. But
Yeah, yeah, wrong idea.
yeah, exactly. So um, I that's gonna be their challenge now. It's gonna be
Yeah.
how do you make this all make sense? And I think it's a good problem to have because it's the people like it. Like it's been the reception has been very good. Fans are happy. I'm happy. Like I'm glad that
Yeah.
Star Wars is back, and I had a great time with it. Right. And they some rumor that I heard is that this mixes into the Jude Law show. What's it called again? Skeleton Crew.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Skeleton Crew.
yeah. Skeleton Crew is gonna, I guess, connect to this somehow.
Wow.
That's what I heard.
That'd
So
be great.
yeah, but yeah, man. I mean, any closing thoughts? I think it was very good, and I want to hear what you got to say.
Oh my gosh. I have so many thoughts that we could talk forever about this thing because there's so many theories, possibilities. But like what you hit on, I think what people are asking the question is where is this going? Where are we going with this? And as a Star Wars fan, I have to imagine that um the Filoni verse truly is going to connect, right? And the projects that have been in the Filoni verse are three of them at the moment, right? You have Ahsoka, you have Mando, and you have Boba Fett. Those three are in the Filoni verse definitively, right? Andor is not in the Filoni verse. It's the part of Star Wars, and it's going to continue. We know we're going to get our second season, which will
Yeah,
connect directly to the events of
and
Rogue
and,
One. I
and
think
that's
that's great,
exactly yeah, and that's
and that's
already connected pretty well. I think. Yeah.
but even in that, Obed, I if whatever they're setting up for this, you can technically put some of the groundwork in Andor as well. You can at some point say if there was some type of thing, person, I don't know, Thrawn shows up because he's been around technically since that time, right? Somewhere that he was planting seeds as a young man. Like there's things you can do if you really want to say we are literally connecting this all up to this one major thing
Bro,
if you really want.
Thrawn was around in that
He
time.
was. He was because he
Could you
knows Anakin's. I
imagine
know
the?
your
Can
master.
you imagine Thrawn showing up in Andor season 2?
I'm telling you, bro. I would not write it off.
That
I
would
would not write
be
it off.
crazy.
And he would fit in very well with the type of style of that show as well.
Oh yeah, it's like
So
looking for
it's
this. Like I mean,
yep,
he dealt in more of a more of a big deal kind of
yeah,
scenario, but his job was technically like find the rebels,
basically.
and but that was his thing, right? So man,
Yep, and he's
yeah,
not a grand
yeah,
admiral yet. Maybe he's like a lieutenant or something.
yeah.
But you can connect it in there.
Well,
But yeah, I
Andor is
what's
like 10 years. It's like about 10 years. It's like
right,
around the same time as Kenobi, right?
right.
Yeah. So
So I'm saying you connected there, but just looking on paper, you are going to get, if they do this right, Obed, you are going to get your Infinity War Endgame type thing that Star Wars has needed. You're going to get it.
yeah,
You're gonna if they do this right, and I don't want to get because I know Star Wars fans we love to predict the future, but I think it's a part of the fun, right? But like you're going to have your movie needs to be the heir the heir to the Empire. People understand that technically now that the Palpatine is gone, he is the rightful heir to the Empire, and he's going to try and make a return of the Empire in full power, right? Bring together the Galactic Empire and the galaxy reunited under this type of rule and power, right? He's going to pick the remnants together. And for that, you need to have people who know what that was before come back in, right? Boba Fett would have to come back into this at some capacity. Mando's gonna have to
yeah.
come in at some capacity. All the Mandalorians with
With
Bo-Katan,
Bo,
they're
yeah.
gonna have to show up, right?
Luke,
You're gonna need to have obviously you have your Ahsoka and Ezra and you're gonna have Zeb and you're gonna have Hera and you're gonna have
yeah,
them all in it, right? And you're very likely to also have Luke Skywalker. You're probably gonna have those characters have to show up in this next thing, and that kind of makes you excited when you say maybe we didn't see this big story at first, but it actually right now makes sense when you're wrapping up certain storylines, and yet somehow, some way, Filoni's so good at making them self-contained. Like The Mandalorian on its own is a fine show. It does help, like it takes over Boba Fett and helps it, right? And it did help with this because you had Ahsoka first in
yeah,
in
yeah,
Mando, and you had her in Boba Fett. But there's a very strong connection here of whatever it is they're doing, and I just hope they don't rush it. I'd love to see, like you mentioned, another season, but I also kind of would like to see a movie or two that's at least in this world, depending on how they go with it. I'm just so pumped. Star Wars is back, guys. This is not for, like you said, the casuals. This is for the fans. This is for the
yeah,
people who love Star Wars.
yeah.
We love all the different, even the stuff that's for controversial. We watched it all, and that's what they're gonna give to us. The sky's the limit.
Except the Acolyte, I'm still not watching that.
I mean, it hasn't come out yet,
That's
right?
come on, yeah.
It ain't real till it's out.
Yeah, exactly. Like the Flash. I mean,
We know how that ended up.
but judging by some people, it's still not real.
I ain't seen it. I don't know.
Oh, what? Wow, man.
Sorry.
Like putting it
Couldn't
out
resist.
there. Yeah. Well, I mean, I like I said, I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to the full universe, more of it, I guess. So
Yeah.
yeah, good stuff, man. It was good. I'm happy. I'm happy because I was hoping that you know it had little to none interference. I think, and that was good. So
Yeah.
yep. All right, Joe. I'm gonna eat crow now for a little bit because the the PlayStation Portal is sold out in Japan, man.
Wow.
What the heck? It was sold out for a while in the U.S. store, but then it came back, and um, I'm not sure if it's sold out anymore. This is for the pre-orders, but it was sold out for a while, and then it came back for a bit. I think directly with Sony, but in Japan, man, 12 hours, dude, and it's gone. It's what the heck, man?
What the?
What? I'm gonna. Who wants this? I guess people want it, right? I mean, bro, I thought that this was gonna be a complete dud. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of happy that that there's actually people that want to have this device, and something that I mentioned to you is that Japan doesn't have the infrastructure problem that we have here, and they have basically reliable internet, readily available in most places. So maybe this is something that people do want. It's like, oh, I want to carry this thing around. I mean, unless the messaging over there was different, right? Which I doubt.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
mean, I think the messaging that Sony put out there was pretty clear what this thing is. What this device is. So I doubt that there's a messaging problem, and people in Japan think that this is just handheld. In which case, this bodes well for Nintendo
Ooh.
because I guess we can probably stitch
Sure.
the two stories together. But yeah, man, what do you think? I mean, are people actually excited for it, or what's up with this?
Yeah, I actually do think that specifically, like, I think the PS Portal, like you said, it could not be more than $200. Well, they hit it exactly on the price point. The other thing is the games that you get on PlayStation, like you can sell your consoles, you can sell your infrastructure when you have good games. What a concept, Obed. So, like, for the fact that there's a demand for the PlayStation Portal, like, is not entirely shocking. It's shocking because that's not how I perceived it to be at launch. I thought it would just be a casual purchase. But I mean, look, if the demand's that high, we are seeing a
Yeah,
move in mobility. We are seeing obviously I don't know, for the Switch culture, where people are like that versatility. And that's exactly what this is. Like it's the same thing as a Switch with the way that it's set up from its versatility. It's just the pricing. It's the lack of it being independent and actually being a streaming device that doesn't get me too excited. But I mean, even I've joked about it, but I'm like, Obed, like, it doesn't look that bad when you start to think about all things considered.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess, again, going back to the specs and what the info that's out there. Um, I mean, from again what I'm reading, it does. You can't even buy this device, subscribe to PlayStation Plus Extra, and get games. Like this is strictly
No.
a remote play device. Like this
Yes.
is designed for remote play. Um, I don't know, man. Again, it's not for me. I'm not disparaging anyone that wants it, and you know, much less the Japanese audience, right? So it's just that it's hard for me to grasp. I guess that's what it is. I know that it has potential, like for I guess less than reputable, things to do to it, right? But it's at least for me, man. I just don't feel like I would rather spend my $200 on something else. I would rather buy some
Mm.
AirPods Pro and and not go in this route. So I would rather get the head the the wireless earbuds that they're coming out with, that they haven't put out a date as far as I know. But yeah, I would rather get that, honestly. So I don't know, man. It's interesting. It's very very interesting. But again, kind of stitching it together. Like if I'm Nintendo right now, after watching this, I would be really excited for what
Yeah,
they're
you gotta feel
cooking.
good.
Yeah, I'll be really excited for what they're cooking, because if this is a strictly remote play device that you can't natively run anything in it, and you're coming out with you know a PS4 Pro level handheld next year, I mean they gotta play it right though. They can't
Correct.
go too crazy, and I mean, knowing Nintendo, they're usually pretty conservative with their pricing, right? But like I personally don't think that this thing should be more than $400. Um, honestly speaking, um, you could make the argument that you could push it to 500, and
It better though run some real good graphics
yeah,
then.
that's the thing, right? Because you can get the an iPad Air with an M1 chip, that an M1 chip that you can
Right,
run everything on it. If they wanted, they could you could run everything on an M1.
right.
And you know, I know that there's naysayers out there. It's
We know.
M chips are the real freaking deal.
We know.
Coming from an IT guy,
Yeah.
you guys have no clue. So um, the okay, yeah. So you can get an iPad, and that's with the Apple tax on top of it, right? I mean, Nintendo has their own tax. They have their own Nintendo tax, but they usually tax you on their games. Where Mario is, Odyssey still $60. It's been out
Right.
for 6 years or whatever. So that's how they get you, right? They have their game tax on it. But on the console itself, I think that again they shouldn't go more than 400. If you ask me, right, I will start phasing out the base Switch models and move the OLED to 299, and just put and then make this one 499.
Okay.
Because I mean, you could make an argument, right? Because of inflation and production costs and all that going up. They had to move production and all that, so 450.
Yeah.
I don't think you should get to 499. 440. I think 449 should be your max. 400 is just like 399 is a sweet spot. 449 has to be your max.
Mm.
Anything after that, you're losing me. So I love
Yeah.
Nintendo and all their games, right? And I really want this device, but you can't push me too hard. So you can get a PS5 for 399,
Right.
right? So and you're talking about a console that's you know what, 2.5 times more powerful based
Yeah.
on specs that are out there floating, I don't know, on the internets. So you can't get too crazy, but yeah, you'll. I mean, what do you think on that? Because those rumors are ramping up.
Yeah, I really do agree with you. Like Nintendo has to be very excited about their future. And I think that from a pricing standpoint, they will get it right. I don't think that they're gonna surprise us and be like, it's $550. XX. I don't think we're gonna see that. Nintendo, they've been there, done that. They they know the Switch is just so good, so successful. That's why they've run with it when they could have already done the
Yeah,
Switch 2. They could have already dropped this new iteration, and they've run with it for so long because of how happy people are. And I love that strategy. I don't imagine them to be radically different. And I agree with you. I think that if they go at the $400 level, they'll scale back the cost of the current iteration down a lot significantly. And I think that you know, the overall game experience is what they're going to continue to sell people on. The versatility, the games that they have, and then just around the tech itself. Like you're gonna be like, oh wow, I can actually run this thing on my Switch. Great, I'm in it. Maybe there'll be some partnerships coming out with it, like you mentioned, maybe some more Game Pass stuff going on. There's something that could be surprising to that extent.
yeah,
But no, I really do think they're in a sweet spot. I do think that the excitement is there and
yeah.
you thought the Switch 1 was record breaking. If they do what
Oh
we're
man,
expecting for the second one, this is going to break all the records.
yeah,
Mark my words.
yep. And Nintendo also confirmed that support for the original Switch, it's scheduled to go through summer of 2025. So
2 years.
I don't think. I think with the Switch's extensive library and this device coming out plus getting another year of support, I think that this bodes well for the device to be backwards compatible. They
Hmm.
gotta, dude, because at
Hmm.
this point, you have to. And if they're using an Nvidia chip, it's gotta be right.
Yeah.
And Nintendo's done it with their handhelds before. Well, the Game Boy Advance was backwards compatible with the Game Boy. Uh, uh, DS was compatible with the Game Boy Advance and Game Boy, right? Going back, so there's a history of that. So I think in this case, they should continue that trend, especially because
Yeah.
it is technically a handheld device. So I just wish that they would give me the option of buying a consoleized version of this and not a portable device. Because if a portable
Yeah.
device doesn't
Yeah.
really do anything for me, right? Like
Yeah.
99% of the time that I play Switch, it's docked.
Thing is, cost wise, how would you do that? Would you? Because if the docked gives you the same thing, and you say you want to have one that's docked only in essence, like what goes higher, what goes lower? How do you handle?
So what if you do right? You do your and yeah, like okay, hear me out. This is gonna sound crazy, but what if you could do your hybrid, like the Switch with the Joy Cons and your TV dock and all that for 500, and then do a version that's just a console with a Pro controller for 400.
Okay.
You don't have a screen. It's basically the same system without a screen and a Pro controller or even the Joy Cons, but no screen, no portability to it, and it's on a lot cheaper. I mean, you can sell it for cheaper, but sure, you know, I mean that's an
And the
option.
Joy Cons are still compatible with it if you really wanted to, as like on an individual basis. It wouldn't
Exactly.
make sense for you, but like if there's
Yeah.
certain games that need that, okay,
Yeah. So
I like it.
yeah, I mean that would be a good option, but I think this is gonna be like straight up uh, a hybrid again. I think that's
Yeah.
that's their future. They proved that they can pull it off, and again we're seeing it as like it's it's crazy, right? When you play Zelda, and Zelda looks great. And don't get me wrong, and again that game is magic. I don't know what that game does. Like it's incredible. But then you go back and you watch like Spidey's coming out, dude, and it looks insane. And that game's probably gonna have like you know a 1440p ray tracing 60 FPS mode or
I
something
can't
that's
wait.
gonna look insane. So yeah, it's tough, right? I don't think they'll ever be at that level, but they got a good chance of coming at least somewhat close. So, uh, Joe, Assassin's Creed Mirage came out. Do you grab your copy?
I This is a huge deal, guys. I have did not pre-buy it and I did not
Oh,
get a copy. And this is a shock to
what?
many people. One, because of how much I love the franchise, and
Joe,
two,
I'm
of all the
shocked.
ones, out of all the ones, this is the one that's the more of an homage to the best of
To
Assassin's
the
Creed, the
original ones.
Ezio's trilogy, right?
Yeah.
Um, I have just such a big backlog.
Mm.
I've just been so busy that I said, you know what? I don't need to have this day one. Am I going to get it, Obed? Of course I'm gonna get it. You know I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna play this.
Okay.
That is without a question.
Did
But
you?
I'm
Go
not
ahead.
playing it day one.
That's interesting. Like
I know you would. I
it's
have all the ones you
unexpected.
would.
It's
Yes,
unexpected.
it's shocking. I know.
Because you're usually like in the morning waiting at the store. It's like,
100%. Yeah,
yeah,
dude, that's
yeah.
me.
Wow, dude.
Yeah, man. I don't know if it's just that I'm getting older or what, but I'm excited
Whoa.
for it. I can't wait to
Wow.
play it. But I'm disciplined enough to say I did not buy it yet.
Okay.
I would say probably. So I know Spidey's coming, right?
Yep.
Um, I need to finish out I'm so close to finishing out Star Wars. I'll probably finish it out this weekend, right? Um, and then Spidey comes in, and I'm set with that for a while. Probably like early New Year, dude. I'll probably get into Assassin's Creed if I can
Okay.
to kind of play in between because I Spidey, I'm gonna blitz through that. If I do anything like I did with the Miles Morales, where I was like a couple weeks and I was done with that thing, dude, it's
Man,
probably gonna be the same thing.
dude,
I love Spidey.
can you believe it? I'm 63 hours into Final Fantasy 16,
Oh, I'm not. I don't doubt it for a
and
second.
that game won't end. It's like, dude,
It keeps going.
it keeps going. It's good though. It's good. Like it's
Nice.
gotten to the point where I'm so like overpowered right now because I've done a lot of the side quests. So I have some of the like the really high tier like armor and weapons. So
Nice, nice.
yeah, yeah. I gotta level up some of the moves, but I'm in the final stretch, right? I'm in that point where it's like, okay, we gotta do this thing, and then because this thing wants us to go here to do the thing. So um, I finished like a big sequence over the weekend, last weekend, and then as soon as I'm done, I go. It's like, dude, I bet that I'm gonna go back to the hideout and a bunch of green marks are gonna pop up for side quests, and oh, there's like a 20 of them. It's like, no,
Wow.
no,
There he
no,
is.
no, no, gotta do the side quests again. So I gotta do the side quests before I proceed, dude. And there's hunts, and I gotta find these hunts. And like I've done all the hunts that are available up until now. I think there's a few that popped up, so I gotta go back and look for those. But this game, it's good. It's good. I'm really enjoying this game. I think it's too long. This game should have ended 10 hours ago, if you ask me. You know, but I'm doing all the side quests. So like I'm being very thorough, and going and combing everything and going through everything. So I wish I don't think I'll make it this weekend because of all the amount of side quests that I have to go through now. But I'm hoping that if not this weekend, then following weekend I'll finish it because
Yeah.
then Spidey comes out. So
Yeah, we're locked into
you know,
that.
and then I wanna jump right into that after that. So
100%.
but yeah, I mean, the Assassin's Creed reviews. I mean, what do you think, man? Because it's
Yeah,
been divisive.
it's been divisive, and that's another thing that does concern me, right? Because I think that they needed to have a home run, and Valhalla was really well loved, and I love that they took a break coming to this, and then they also are kind of going back to the familiar scene that we've had before. But at the same extent, like it sounds to me like they need to have excitement back into the franchise
Mm,
instead of just kind of like you don't want to get into like the Call of Duty kind of situation where it's just the same thing, just changing up some small features. And I think that's what people suspect from it. Overall, though, but the reviews are still, I think, in a positive light for the most
I think
part.
so. Yeah.
And that's what's good about it. I just haven't seen like we're not getting like was it like PS4 Avengers like game where like this is a
Oh no.
disappointment or something like that. So I'll be all right.
Yeah. Do you see that game got delisted?
I
Yeah.
know they're making it disappear.
Yeah, man. That's crazy. The game cost Square Enix a lot of money. Like they
Jeez.
lost a lot of money with that game, and they sold the studios, right? They sold those
Yeah,
guys
yeah,
out. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Which kind of stinks because Guardians was really good. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
that's a
Can't wait
game
to
that
play that.
I would suggest you play because
Okay,
that game gets sweaty, dude.
it's cheap too.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
and it's not too long. Again, it doesn't overstay its welcome. It's let me rephrase that. It's I think it's the perfect length. It's long.
it's good. Like the movie's good.
It's long. It's long. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, um, I I always wanted to go back to that game. It's tough now because there's so much stuff,
That's
right?
what I'm saying,
There's
man.
so
We're
much
in a good
stuff.
problem.
And then
Yeah.
I haven't again. I Street Fighter. I just barely touched it. And then February 29th, Final Fantasy 7 comes out. Rebirth, and I mean that's I gotta like
Gotta do it.
there's no escaping that, right? I gotta
Nope.
play that. So I don't know, bro. It's like it's next year. Gotta better cool it off, right? Because I got Rebirth. I don't know what's gonna happen with Nintendo, and we'll go from there. But man, it's a good time to be a gamer.
For sure, for sure.
Good time for sure. Joel, Sony, they're rebranding Bravia Core into Sony Pictures Core and adding movies to PlayStation Plus. Dude, what's up with that?
So this kind of comes back to our Jim Ryan conversation because it's ironic the timing, right? Like you just had this guy uh essentially resigned, however you want to interpret it, out from the role.
Retired.
And then like this huge news to me, this is huge. Because we know the future of things is streaming as a whole, and then the PS Plus service has been a little bit, not doing as great as it has been in the past. But then the price point being increased, but having nothing added to it, that's tough. But when you have something like this, you can qualify and say, look, you're spending more money, but look at all the things it includes. You added now a library of films. I think this is going to do great things for PS Plus. And I know that some people might be like, no, there's not that big of a deal. I think for the future of it, because the now, you know, I think Sony has a deal with Netflix, generally speaking, that a lot of their films keep
Yeah.
dropping on there. But, there's a lot of people that would love to have this stuff just natively in its own collection, like how the PS collection is on Extra and on these other ones where Netflix kind of cycles things. So this is a good situation to be in, and maybe it will succeed so well that Sony will just continue to run with it and grow with it, and maybe even factor into the next generation of PlayStation. I know that this I'm talking big things right now, and people are thinking it's just adding movies, but no, I think this is actually really big for them. This is good news.
I think it's very ironic
Yeah.
that last gen Xbox tried to do this and failed with the Xbox One and trying to integrate it into like movies and TV, and now Sony is doing it. But Sony owns the catalog, right? Xbox doesn't have to go out and uh, finagle around with their with licensing and agreements and all that, right? So I think this is a good move, just kind of like integrating their entertainment platform, and that's part of like the things that I heard about the guy that's taking over the CEO, was it Takeda or something like that. Um, I think this is a good move because again it gives you more value,
Hmm.
especially now that people are complaining about PS Plus just being too expensive, which is
Yeah.
you know I, right, yeah, if you say that PS Plus, yeah, it is. It is. It is. Especially like the higher tiers, right? It's like even
Yeah.
even I think even the base tier right now for what they offer is too much money, especially with their game selection being trashed for the last few months. I mean, the only good game that they put out there, I mean, they did put 2K16, but that again is divisive.
Hmm.
And Callisto Protocol dropped this week. That's the only game that I added from this month. I didn't get any games from last month, dude. Because it's like I'm not gonna play Saints Row. I'm not gonna
Wow.
play, like, I didn't add any games. I
Yeah.
usually just add what I want. Um, but it, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna leave my backlog to play Saints Row or some of these like farming simulators out this one. I know that there's people that like that sort of thing. It's hilarious, but I'm not gonna.
Doesn't do anything for you.
I'm not. Yeah, exactly. I was like, I mean, should I play Spidey or should I just pick some time and play some farming simulator? Um, you know, I don't know. Yeah, you tell me. So,
And for the
yeah, man,
price,
it's
stuff.
yeah, it's I think they're just adding value, and it was needed because of they needed a way to justify the price increases,
Hmm.
those price increases were kind of nuts. So they had to find a way to make it worth their time. So make it
Totally.
worth like the people's time. Like it's like I would love to have extra, but not now. Before I did, but it's too much money.
Yeah,
So,
I agree.
um, but yeah, man, it's interesting. We'll see what happens with that. Doing a quick scrub here, sir.
That's what we got.
It looks like it looks like we're pretty much set. So take us some,
That
sir.
means I'm gonna jump off here and I'm gonna go watch Loki because it's on the
Yeah,
same time as our show, which is
there you
pretty
go.
crazy. That what are you doing, Disney? You guys
What
could
are
have moved it
Disney?
to
Disney? What are you
Wednesday.
doing? Yeah,
What are
we
you
haven't
doing?
had a Disney. What are you doing? Or WB? What are you doing for a while,
We
man? We
haven't.
gotta,
We haven't.
yeah,
It's
we
very true.
gotta,
Well,
we
I'm
gotta
sure
come up
it's
with one of
we'll be
those.
due for one soon. No, we hope not. We hope not. We'll see.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, no, thank you all so much for sticking with us. We encourage you to stay connected to No Load Time. Make sure you subscribe to our podcast on podcast platforms of your choice, places like Spotify, Amazon Music, SoundCloud. Subscribe, follow, and you'll be really enjoying all the latest episodes, all the latest content that we're dropping. We also are on YouTube. If maybe you're watching right now, the video version, make sure you're subscribed to the No Load Time YouTube channel. We've got also movie reviews and YouTube shorts and other great content that comes out on our channel. Make sure you check it out, like those videos, write us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Additionally, follow us on social media at No Load Time. That's at No Load Time. Facebook, X, Instagram, Threads, TikTok. We're on it. Make sure you follow us there. You also can follow us on Twitch. That's No Load Time all together on Twitch. If you're watching on the video version right now, you'll see all the handles I'm talking about down below. And last but not least, if you have a question, comment, or feedback, we'd love to hear from you. Send an email to noloadtime@gmail.com. That's noloadtime@gmail.com. And maybe we'll even discuss what we talk about on a future episode. Thank you all so much for sticking with us, and we can't wait to talk with you next week about Loki and so much more.
Thank you guys. Stay safe. We'll see you again next time.